This Minecraft speedrun was finished in under a minute, and that's because this is a set seed speedrun. Compared to the traditional random seed category where runners enter a world they've never played and attempt to beat the dragon as fast as possible, set seed is meant to show off how optimal Minecraft speedruns can get. We got stuff like ruined portals and villages to beating the dragon with a single arrow, so let's start off from the beginning with a run from 10 years ago. The year is 2014 and the seed known as looting was found, which probably makes this world older than some of my viewers. This run takes place in version 1.8 and players start by making their way toward the nearby desert temple to get diamonds and gold. They create tools and a diamond sword and start killing animals for XP, and we'll see why later. They make their way to a second desert temple that contains a key item in a looting book. As you can probably guess, this is where the seed gets its name from. The player's next goal is to get iron for an anvil. 2 more desert temples later, they have 32 ingots, which is enough. With the 7 levels they get from killing animals, they're able to get a looting sword just in time for endermen to spawn. Thanks to looting, endermen have a higher chance to drop ender pearls and can even drop multiple. Around 6.5 minutes later, they have enough pearls and start heading towards the stronghold. As a reminder, this is a set seed, which means that players know everything about the world beforehand. Thanks to this, they're able to dig down directly onto the stronghold. Despite making it here, the runner still needs to get blaze rods for Eyes of Ender, so using the lava in the portal room, they can make another portal. As you might expect, the portal puts them right smack dab in front of a fortress. A quick nether split later, thanks to looting, runners are already on their way back to the stronghold. Finally, entering the end in 22 minutes, we have a traditional yet slow end fight. This involves using a bow to destroy the crystals and a bed to deal massive damage as the dragon charges at the player. After enough explosions, the run is over. This seed is understandably really slow and will gradually see the time drop. But this is an important part of history, and as YouTube commenter Mafwe3W says, this, kids, is where the set seed glitchless category was born. And they're right, this is just the beginning, so let's move on to the next. A few months later, we would get a new fastest seed called Taro, based on the person who found it, Taro Kitchen. Also, if you're curious, here's his kitchen. Anyways, at this point, seeds would start to get a little bit unrealistic. In this case, this world utilizes an end portal with 8 eyes already filled in. The routing is overall pretty simple. It starts with players getting iron from a cave and using that to create a bucket. With this, they enter the nether and kill 2 blazes since they only need 4 eyes. After, they make a beeline for the stronghold where they get 4 ender pearls from 3 chests. From here, a standard end fight ensues. This seed was used to get the first sub 10 in set seed glitchless. This one is boring, so here's the next one. Taro Sister, founded about 2 years later. Now you're probably hearing the name and wondering where it comes from, cause I was too. Searching the Discord wasn't all too helpful. After looking at the seed, it becomes apparent where it gets its origins. The original Taro seed spawns you in a desert, while this new one puts you in a tundra. In this world, runners use a mob spawner. Is that the name? That can't be real. Anyways, runners use a monster room to get a bucket and tools. They find a lava pool and enter the nether. Observant viewers might look at this nether and think it's familiar, and that's because it is. It's the exact same nether as the original Taro seed, but it doesn't stop there. The cave opening to get into the stronghold is also the same. Even the stronghold itself is identical. So what's going on here? I don't know. I don't understand how Minecraft world generation works, but this commenter seems to know. From what my small brain can wrap around, Minecraft uses a 48-bit seed for world generation. Because biomes use a different system, it gets all messed up, which leads to the possibility of many seeds having identical nethers, ends, caves, and strongholds. So yeah, weird stuff. Overall, Taro Sister is slightly faster thanks to the overworld. Another 2 years later, and we have Snow, named after, well, the snow. It's pretty similar to the previous worlds, except this time it utilizes an 11-eye portal instead of the previous 8. This small change and a few other things like closer proximity to the stronghold would allow this seed to become the new fastest. Players were even able to beat it in under 5 minutes. It doesn't utilize any new techniques compared to Taro Sister, so I'll move on with the next one called Paper. At the start, the runner heads to a desert temple for some gold and emeralds. For the first time, players are entering a village because they're gonna utilize the trades. By using paper from sugarcane and books from villager houses, they're able to get 9 emeralds and trade with the cleric for an Eye of Ender. Because of this, runners don't even need the nether. After heading to the stronghold, they are once again greeted by an 11-eye end portal. Entering the end at around 3 minutes, runners can utilize crystals as explosives and kill the dragon. This seed didn't last long. Its one and only world record only stood for 3 days. And in 3 days, there's tons of stuff you can do. According to Google, you can take a trip, spend time with loved ones, relax, or even subscribe. We'd be moving into 1.14 with the Desert Seed. Thanks to this version advance, more features are in our hands. Case in point with this buried treasure, which allows runners to immediately craft gold tools and a bucket. At this point, set seed is starting to look more modern. For example, from this point onward, every seed will be using a 12-eye ender portal. This is incredibly helpful. Runners no longer need to kill a blaze or even get an ender pearl for that matter. Back in the day, people would find seeds on their own. Is this still the case? Well, no, not at all. The chance of someone rolling a 12-eye is way too low. each portal frame has a 1 in 10 chance to generate with an eye already in it. 1 in 10 to the power of 12 is 1 in 1 trillion. Nobody is rolling a seed like this on accident, which begs the question, how is a seed like this even found? Well, this is done through a process called seed finding, which searches for worlds with specific parameters. I'd love to explain how this works, except I have zero clue how it works. I'd love to learn about it, but this video explanation by Cracked Magnet is 4.5 hours long. If you're interested, then I'll leave it in the description. Anyways, let's maybe actually start talking about the seed. As I said earlier, runners use a buried treasure to get materials. From here, they go to a nearby village for beds and obsidian. Chest loot in this version is random, and maybe random in future versions too. I don't know. I don't care enough to find out. Players are trying to get enough obsidian to enter the nether. But didn't I say players don't need to kill blazes? Yes, I did, so shut up. Runners are only in the nether because they're trying to get to the stronghold faster. Since 1 block in the nether is equal to 8 in the overworld, speedrunners are able to place a second portal in the nether that leads them directly into the stronghold. Finally, we have another change with the end split. Previous end fights were slow, but overall pretty consistent. Because of the changes made to the dragon, runners rely on the dragon perch, which is when the dragon slowly descends to the center fountain. From here, players use beds to pull off the ever so famous 1 cycle. By using beds, you're able to deal damage while pushing the dragon upwards. Thanks to all this, runners were able to push this seed down to a sub 3 time, except they actually weren't. You see, at the time, this seed's world record was a 256 by a player known as Minecraft. Some of you may know where I'm going with this. Minecraft actually cheated on this run, but it didn't go detected until around 3 years later. While sub 3 is possible on this seed, it was never legitimately done. The real world record is a flat 3-minute time by Rattles. Unfortunately, her run, which is the real world record, was never recognized as such. Thankfully for her, she would get a new world record with the next seed, Tobiasz. Tobiasz? Unfortunately, the video is no longer accessible, so we'll be watching this run from the man himself, Tobiasz. This run takes place in 1.16, which means we have the new nether update features being used like a ruin portal. This run starts with a player spawning in a Taiga village. They're here for beds and obsidian. They also get iron, which is needed to craft a bucket. From here, they swim down to the aforementioned ruin portal and use it to create a portal into the nether. About 50 seconds of travel later, they arrive at the second portal location. From here, a standard 12-eye portal is used. 1 dragon perch and 5 beds later, we get to see the seed that actually brought this category under 3 minutes. For the next 2 seeds, I'm going to talk about them at the same time. These are Dolphinless and Dolphin. Remember when I went over Taro and Taro Sister because of how similar the world was? Well, this is another case of that scenario. Both seeds start in a village. They're slightly different, so the route changes here, however. In Dolphinless, runners get 5 beds plus obsidian, then run to a ruined portal that contains a gold pickaxe and a light in the form of a flint and steel or fire charge. Dolphin seed, however, only gets 4 beds, then swims to the same ruined portal. This is where it gets its name from, because in theory, the fastest way to cross this body of water is by having a dolphin spawn there. Fun fact, the last world record on the seed by Rattles doesn't use a dolphin. And now I'm obligated to bring up Minecraft again. Minecraft achieved a 221 with this seed, which, as you can guess, was faked. In this run, he forces the dragon to perch and even forces a dolphin to spawn. So yeah, cheaters, am I right? Moving on, both nether routes are almost identical because, as mentioned previously, they have the same nether. There is a slight difference, however, which is why Dolphinless grabs the 5th bed. Gold pickaxes don't have a lot of durability. They can only break 32 blocks, and this isn't enough to get to the optimal portal location. By using a bed, however, runners are able to blow up blocks in the nether to build a portal that puts them right in front of the portal room. By the time Dolphin Seed was adapted, however, runners found a more efficient method of building the second portal. This seed doesn't dig as deep into the wall and places a portal down earlier. This does mean they're farther away from the portal room, but even with this extra distance, not having to grab a 5th bed makes up the time and makes this route faster. Finally, they both enter the end and complete a modified 1 cycle. This next setup allows speedrunners to kill the dragon with 4 beds instead of 5, which, you know, is just faster. This got the world record down from 3 minutes to 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Next up is the Taiga seed, named after, well, the biome. At this point, we're into 2021, and something noteworthy is that speedrunners are developing some amazing mechanics. Like, check out this portal build, or even check out this chest looting. It's just much faster than in previous seeds. It's quite similar to Dolphin in that it uses a village for beds and then a ruined portal to enter the nether. From here, runners drop right in front of a bastion, which leaves them at exactly half a heart. They get a chest with more obsidian and enter the end through a portal that for some reason only has 3 eyes of ender. If it only has 3, then why are runners still able to to enter the portal. And another big question, why is there a portal in only that corner in the first place? I don't know, man, stop expecting me to know everything. All I know is that it was something to do with these two pieces of the portal being in the same chunk and both having an eye filled in. I wish I knew more, but I tried searching around for an answer for 30 minutes and couldn't find anything solid. At the time of me writing this, it's 2 AM and I don't want to keep searching, so leave a comment if you specifically know what's going on. Anyways, as standard, players enter the end and defeat the dragon with a 4-bed. In late 2021, gravel was discovered, and I don't like this seed. I've never even played said seed, but this world does not look fun at all. Let me explain why. This seed starts off as normal, utilizing a village to get beds. This village also has 2 blacksmiths which give a total of 20 obsidian. Something that this seed does differently is that it doesn't use a ruined portal. Because of this, there's no guaranteed way to light the portal through a flint and steel or fire charge. Instead, runners have to use a piece of gravel they found in the wall to get flint. Now, getting flint is only a 1 in 10 chance, so you can imagine how often runners are forced to reset at this part. But even if they don't get it on the first try, they can still replace the gravel and try again, which is what the world record by Rayo does. Once in the nether, they run to the second portal spot and yada yada, enter the end through yet another chunk error portal and use beds to kill the dragon for a sub 2 time. Woohoo. Alright, Vine Seed is next, and this one is cool. You're probably used to it by now, but it starts off with a village for beds. We're back to using ruined portals, so hey, less RNG, which is nice. Now, why did I say it was cool? I'll just play this segment of the run so you can see yourself. It's just such a visually pleasing run and does so many cool things, from barely landing on a vine, the incredibly sick portal build, and even using a vine to remove the lava from under the portal. It's all just really clean. Also, don't miss this jump. It's pretty funny that this end island even looks like this. It's like it was generated just for this speedrun. The final change this seed implements is in the dragon fight. The previous seeds had the dragon perch from north to south, which makes the one cycle easier. However, the fastest perch orientation is diagonal. It's harder and requires a slightly different setup, but at this point in time, these runs need to be perfectly optimal. We've reached a time of 147. The world records are mere milliseconds apart. It seems as though we're at a standstill. Is this the limit of set seed glitchless? In order to get another time, a new strategy would need to be found, and well, let's just say, a new strategy was definitely found. This is the one shot, which allows runners to kill the dragon with a singular arrow. Here's how it works. Getting hit by the dragon subjects you to knockback. You might notice, however, that this hit sometimes sends you flying. This is due to an incredibly small hitbox the dragon contains called the tickle spot. The tickle spot has a unique property in that it increases a player's velocity exponentially. This is only part of it. The damage an arrow does is based on the velocity of the arrow shot from it. By using the velocity a player receives in the dragon, this arrow will do enough damage to one-shot it, hence the name. It's not easy to pull off, but the rewards are present. With this tech, runners are able to achieve runs like this. The final minute barrier is broken, with runs able to be completed in just about 50 seconds. Let's go over what makes this seed so insane. Starting off with the spawn, why is it so close to the stronghold? The spawn of the player is 1500 blocks out, which is pretty weird in the first place. This is due to spawn rules. Because there are no valid spawn points closer to 0-0, the game puts you here, which happens to be very close to the stronghold. The stronghold is also in a ravine. This is why runners only need to break 2 blocks before falling down and using a cobweb to live. From here, they grab a pickaxe and pray for a skeleton to to spawn. This skeleton needs to drop both a bow and an arrow, which is only a 5% chance of happening. Then, after entering the end, they have to pull off the difficult one-shot in order to achieve times like these. This is currently the most recent seed used in set seed speedruns. Almost everything needs to be perfect, and it's where the world record stands. And while I've discussed all of the fastest set seed worlds, I didn't discuss every seed. Other seeds exist for set seed runs, but haven't been done in world records, so I didn't include them. This also isn't really a set seed world record history, so don't treat it as such. Before I end the video, I'd like to show you a run from the perfect seed category. This world, while not actually being generated, is technically possible. It's incredibly bizarre while being fun to watch. Anyways, that's all I got. See ya!